I met Javier in person because I had a leg pain that no one could diagnose, find, or treat. I tried alternative medicine and I also tried my regular doctor who said the symptoms didn't fit anything that he knew and didn't know what to do. And I was sleeping with magnets and all sorts of things that I was putting on and it was killing me and I couldn't sleep. And I went to see Javier and I am not sure what he did, but it was phenomenal work aside from my leg getting completely healed. I also just shifted my mood and my energy dramatically. And I was so in such a different place when we finished that I really never got a chance to talk to him about what he does in his practice. So I'm really excited also to hear about his work. And I did not realize until inviting him to do the show that his specialty was working on things like HIV and cancer and using shamanic processes to help people get rid of these diseases. That's pretty exciting.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about Javier? For example, his website and where he practices. Is a little bit maybe about him while we're getting him on the air here.
Absolutely. He does not have, he is truly out of the shamanic tradition and being part of a group and sharing his talents with a circle of healers. So they have a group website called the Inner Sanctuary, and they run a lot of classes and offer a lot of different services depending on the healers that work with them. He's founded Inner Sanctuary, and it's located in Riverside, California, which is the Inland Empire. As far as I know, he also does long distance work, and he can be approached for healing sessions without having to live in California. And he has also learned many other talents. He was identified as a shaman when he was 10. His mother was told that from other shamans that he had a gift. And since his training in that, he has also added his work as a medical intuitive, a psychic detective. He does Reiki, and I think there's a lot of other things he does that I don't even know about. And he's a very humble person, very modest. He does not talk a lot during the sessions. He asks questions and then
Right.
uses drumming, chanting, crystals, and energy work. And I believe from what I've seen and the when I have talked to him that he doesn't have any specific procedure that he follows. He um, goes according to the client, according to the situation, and according to the spirits that come in to assist him. So we can't say, oh, this is what Javier does every time he does work. We actually have no idea what Javier is going to do. He may not have any idea other than calling in all the forces that he works with.
So he operates his website, theinnersanctuary.org. It's like a group of practitioners
Yes,
in his field. I see.
exactly. So he is there. He is the CEO, he's the founder, and I think he has like two or three other officers there, but then he also invites in other people that are doing this kind of work. There seems to be a lot of that going on in this area of California, the Inland Empire. I see people forming like there's a group of healers called Circle of Light, and they all kind of get together and refer clients to each other, and they're not competitive, but they are more working together in partnership. So you'll have channelers and you'll have someone else who works with crystals, and it's kind of like a family group. And there's another group called the Holistic Registry that does the same thing, that they will make referrals within their group of people, and we can attest to their skill and their competency. So it's kind of nice. It's sort of like going to a medical clinic where they have the x-ray machines and the eye doctor specialists all in one building. There seems to be quite a few groups out here that have that with alternative healings kind of all under one roof. It's very nice concept, very much a community rather than one person trying to make a name for themselves or say they can do everything all by themselves.
Well, very nice. Well, we have Javier here with us, so let's go ahead and get started.
Yay. Javier, are you there?
Yeah, from here.
Oh, great
How
to
you doing
have
today?
you.
Good, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So, I would love to hear more. When I spoke to you a little bit, you talked about your mom had some shamans come to her and identify that you had a gift. So, what happened with that? How did you start your training or the recognition that you had something special going on in the way of being a healer?
My mother had some family issues back then
Mm-hmm.
um, with my grandmother having cancer. Somebody recommend my mom to take my grandmother to these shamans. And when we took these shamans, when we see these shamans to heal to help my grandmother, they told my mom, "Why don't you leave this boy right here with us?" because he got a special gift, and we would like to for him to see what we do.
Mm.
Maybe he will be interested on doing this work with us. So that will be my starting point. After that, it will be a series of different things, different incidents that happens. There was many people coming to my house from different parts of the world, looking for healing because they learn about not what I was capable of doing, but about these shamans and I. So everything starts at a very early age.
Mm. So, did your mom leave you there with the shamans?
Yes, I was. She left me there not to leave there because it was very close to my house. Actually, it was about a 20 minute drive where
Mm.
these shamans were located at. So my mom was leaving me for, especially when I was in my vacations from school. She was leaving me there for half a day or three-quarters of the day, so I
Mm.
can work with them.
Wow. And how did they start training with you? What kind of things happened to develop your skills?
Well, basically, there was a very, very unusual training because they never told me, "Look, this is what we do."
Mm-hmm.
No, they were doing it, and they just told me, "Follow us and
Mm.
see and feel." There was a certain aspects that they were telling me because there's some laws, if you want to call it, spiritual laws that you had to be aware of when you're doing rituals. And
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly out of respect for the entities that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but besides that, I was just learning by looking at them,
Right.
by watching them work.
And did
They
they
were
come
very
out of
powerful.
a particular practice? Like, was this the Huichol tribe, or was this some other kind of particular shamanism that you know about, or
Yes,
their own
the
practice?
shamanism that I initiate with, which they have, it was more like um, Christian shamanism,
Mm-hmm.
if you will call it that way, because they were working with the energies of the Christ consciousness. They were working. We were working, and I still do work with the archangels, which
Mm-hmm.
is probably one of my main streams
Right.
that I do.
Wow.
And of course, we include a lot of things like I heal with eggs, with coconuts, with flowers, with fruits, with herbs, and in my lineage, the only thing we don't do is animals.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sacrifice animals for that.
Right.
As of today, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really. But besides that, we use a very different type of things: water, mud, oils.
Mm.
Uh, but once again, never uh, it's never stop flowing of doing different things all the time.
Right. So you keep learning more and more
Yeah,
skills. And
yeah.
how would you, for people who are listening who perhaps aren't familiar with shamanism, how would you describe it compared to like some people are used to Reiki and they know the names of other healing modalities? Some may not be familiar with shamanism. What would you say to them?
Shamanism is just like any other modality. That they're different. I've been traveling around different parts of the world doing healings. When I was in Europe last May, I learned different things that they do over there. In South America, when I used to go there, they do different things. So shamanism is more that nothing but a healer that utilize nature.
Mm,
Utilize nature. Yeah, you can call it the herbs. You can call animals. You can call the elements of the earth. There's some shamans. They are astrologers.
hmm.
So they're more in touch with nature. We emphasize that very much.
Right. That is that a little bit like the Druid path as well, which seems to do the kind of that same thing, working with plants and animal spirits.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
And once again, it depends where the tribe, where the lineage that shamanism comes from. It might be different for everyone.
Right. Right. So when you started training so young, how did you know when you were ready to start helping other people?
You don't. It's not a certification that you get, or it's not you just doing it. It's a call that you,
Mm,
and for all, for time and time, we all get a call in the
right.
same manner. So you get a call to do it right there at the moment, and you do it. It's
Got it.
not, it's that connection that you have, because
Yeah.
shamanism is about connection. When
Right.
you acknowledge that connection, that we all have that connection, but when you acknowledge that connection, then you flow and then you do it.
Well, how old were you when you first actually worked on someone? Like you were studying with the shaman teachers at a very young age. Was there some point when they said to you, "You're ready," or did they just put someone in front of you one day? How did that happen?
When I was working with them, mostly we did it as a group. There was
Hmm.
two female shamans and myself, and that's what we're doing together. We're doing everything together. It was not until I came to California
Hmm.
that I started doing it by myself. And I walk away from this work for a long time, doing working on just regular work like everybody else.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until like 10 years ago
Hmm.
that it was an opportunity. They presented an opportunity with a house that it was haunted,
Hmm.
and that's when an spirit came to me and they told me, "Are you gonna do this job or not? Or you gonna forget about it?" So it was a choice that they gave me. So
Hmm.
I decided right there that it was time to go back to for something that I really enjoy, that I really like, and that I really feel like myself. So I have a very good intensive experience right there in the house where I learned after that that a couple priests being kicked out of the house, and a pastor also was kicked out of the house because he was very strong demons in the house. And at the time that I came to the house, with the help of archangels, we were able to clean the house to the feet and get those entities out of the house. So it was a very good experience, and that was pretty much the comeback for me.
Mm. When you send demons off, where do you send them? Do you send them home? Do you send them to the light? What do you, because I've heard different people who do that kind of work have different ideas on what, where they go, where they send them. I'm curious to know what you do.
Yes. What I basically do is send them to what we call the House of the Providence,
Mm-hmm.
where they have an opportunity to make a decision. All this is about making a decision. It's not that they're gonna get better or they're gonna get worse,
Mm-hmm.
but they have a decision to continue doing what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
or go a different way. And in this case, a lot of all these entities of light that are power. In this case, we can call Archangel Michael. Um, they escort these entities to that ground, to that house, so they can make a decision. The
Wow.
entities do not destroy it. You cannot destroy them completely.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can, no entity, no spirit goes away. They're all God creation. They're all
Right.
created with the same essence as you and I,
Mm-hmm.
so they cannot be destroyed.
Right. So you give them a chance to take another path, basically, it sounds like.
Yeah, I gotta clarify that it's not me that is giving the chance. It's the
Mm.
creator.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, what I do is I just help them to get out of there. I help them to. Um, they don't belong in this world. They don't
Mm.
belong in this place. They don't belong in these entities. They don't belong here. So we help them to get out of there and go where they need to be.
So it sounds like it's kind of a healing for demonic forces as well as the people who called you in.
Correct. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. So you mentioned that you specifically work now, it sounds like, with HIV and cancer, and I would love to hear about that because those are massively huge challenges, and would love to know, first of all, what is the shamanic outlook on like how do people get these illnesses? Why do they get them? And then how do you actually approach that? Because these are giant roadblocks for some humans.
Yes. We actually believe that 80% of all major illnesses they come from your mind. You
Mm.
created them unconsciously.
Hmm.
There's three different levels of your body. Many people call different names. Basically, there's your body of your consciousness, your self-consciousness, and your unconsciousness.
Hmm.
And you work with different levels every day.
Hmm.
So through your unconsciousness, you bring those illnesses to your life.
Mm.
Some of these illnesses can come from past lives
Hmm.
or karma that is not being completed. We have
Mm.
to understand that karma is an unfinished energy.
Hmm.
All the energies is a cycle, and when the cycle is not complete, it's a leakage of energy.
Hmm.
And when you allow that those leakages of energy out of your body, that's when the body gets ill.
Hmm.
I don't heal. I don't heal cancer,
Hmm.
but I help them to heal the energy of their body, so their body can heal themselves. Our body is so beautifully manufactured, if you want to call it that way, that we got the ability to heal ourselves if we get the right tools. So if we got the right energy, we can heal ourselves. So that's what a shaman does. A shaman doesn't go to the material realm to help you. Shamans, we go out to the spiritual realm, to the energetic field to help you, to restore your energy field, your natural abilities.
Hmm.
So
Is
we all powerful in that. We all, without the patient's help, I
Mhm.
cannot do it.
So, is there
So that's
a
easy.
difference in your approach if you feel that it's coming from karma versus coming from the unconscious of the person?
Yes, it's a different approach, man. Um, Basically, when it's from karma from different past lives, um, I like to go deep and find out where that energy started and why that energy haven't been completed and what we can do to complete that energy. It's not about uh, attacking, going against that illness, but it's about to heal that piece of energy, where it comes from, and what we need to do in this lifetime to complete that cycle, to fulfill that part of you that is missing right there. So it's
And
mostly I had to journey. I had to do a journey on this soul. So when the person comes to me, we open all these channels of energy so they can flow. Everything, in my experience, most of these things happen because we don't allow the flow of life to flow through us. And I was use this example of a river. A river, when the water is flowing free, it creates oxygen, fish, flowers, life. But when you stop that flow of water, the water becomes stagnant and creates disease. It creates mosquitoes, creates a lot of stuff. Because we are 80%, 70% water. So that affects a lot on us. The flow of life has to flow all the time. We breathe in, we have to breathe out. We get food through our mouth, we have to evacuate that food, have to let it go. Get what is good for us and let go of the rest. When we drink water, we have to drink the water and then let it go. So the water is flushing, restoring, renewing all the time. So this is many times where we as the human beings are so good about holding on things, holding on grudges, holding resentment, and holding on into feelings and emotions. And all these feelings and emotions, they only have one function, which is to feel it, and release it. Feel it, use that emotion, and release it. If you retain it, that's when it becomes stagnant, and that's when it becomes illness for you. Did I answer
so
your question?
you mentioned journeying. What is that? What does that feel like or look like?
I basically getting, for the sake of this understanding more, I go into a different realm um, through a deep meditation um, to find out what is the energy stop flowing. What was the blockage right there that this energy is not flowing no more? And I go to a deep meditation a day before or a few hours before. I get into my altar and I get this in this state of deep meditation, and I travel to that dimension with this energy at that time. And that's how I'm able to see where many times these persons are not telling me, are afraid to tell me, or they consciously forgot, or they blocked that memory so they don't have to remember, and it's not more painful anymore. Which it happens a lot when there is something, some circumstances that it causes you pain. your mind try to protect you and block that memory from you.
That makes total sense. So the journeying, will that also reveal to you whether it's coming from the subconscious or coming from karma, or does that not really make a difference?
It makes a difference for the person, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me because it affects the person same. It affects the person the same way. Um, it is a good learning tool for the person to know. So when you know about the flow of life, you try not to stop the flow, and you learn how to create that flow in your life. It's all about the flow of life.
Mm.
When we learn that secret, which is not a secret actually, when we learn how to allow that flow to come through us, it's just like the energies of the universe have to come through us, and it goes down to Mother Earth, Pachamama. All the energies of Mother Earth have to come through us and go up to the universe. We are in this tridimensional world and being used as a vessel of those energies. If we try to hold on to those energies, it's not good for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to clean ourselves, rejuvenate ourselves by allowing those energies to flow freely up and down.
So do you tell your person that you're working with, do you tell them something different if it is karma versus subconscious? Do you use that somehow as a teaching tool, or do you just let that go and continue to work on them without talking very much?
It varies different times because I'm a very obedient person. If the spirit asks me to tell them, I tell them. Many things that I see and receive is not for them to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for my first, so I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But all the time, many people they don't want to hear that. For the most part, many people they don't want to know that. They're not interested in that.
Mm.
So, and I'm not gonna overwhelm somebody with knowledge that they don't want to know.
Right.
So, but if they ask me, by all means, I will tell them the truth. I don't hold nothing back.
Mm. I'm wondering if it's a subconscious thing in psychology. Very often that comes back to haunt people. And so I'm wondering how you deal with something not reoccurring. In other words, I can see, in my mind, I can see how helping reestablish the flow of karma could alleviate an illness. But if somebody has a subconscious thought, very often it seems like they're addicted to that thought and that it would come back again. Do you find that, or how do you deal with that or break the cycle of that kind of toxic thinking?
See, something very interesting about my work is that I don't work against nobody's will.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody comes and like it happens many times, they come and say, you know what, I have this problem and I want to work on this problem.
Mm.
And then I find out that the issue is coming from somewhere else, but they don't want to work on that issue.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to work, they just want to patch, and they don't want to deal with that. And I respect that, you know. I respect that. I know some people that got some karma the other day that happens. This person that I know, this person have breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and she got a good opportunity to release that. But she decided not to do it. She decided not to do it, not to go through it, and I have to respect that.
Wow.
I respect everyone's decision. It was her decision. It was her choice. She got the divine right to choose that, and she died.
Wow.
But she died, and I was happy for her. I was happy for her because it was her decision.
Right.
And a lot of people are like that. They block themselves. They decide that they don't want to do nothing about it. And I'm glad because they're choosing one thing or the other, but they're exercising their free will, which is one of the most beautiful gifts that we have in this lifetime. Your free will. You always have choices. You always have free will to choose. And I have to be okay with that. And I am okay with that.
Yeah. Do you ever feel that there's some kind of danger of you taking on the karma or some, I know in some practices with some gurus, for example, they will take on someone's illness in their body, process it, and then release it. I know other practices don't do that. So how do you relate to, what's your relationship with the energies when you're working with things like HIV and cancer?
I don't have any doubt of that. This is number one. I trust my gift so much, and I trust the energies that I work with. That if one day that happens to me, I will take it. That was my journey. That was my something that it was meant to be. But I won't get that. I won't get that because this is not something that you transmit. There is something that you can get if you allow to by working against somebody else's will. Let's say a patient comes in and that patient doesn't want to get healed. And if I try to heal this person, I blend with that energy without this person's permission, and then I might get something. Because all the energy is like a circulatory realm that is moving. The energies are moving all the time. And if you don't have the permission of this person to work on their karma, on their cancer or HIV, then you might get it. It's not for sure, but you might get it. And that's why I'm very, very careful with this God-given gift of free will.
Beautiful. What about working with male and female energies? Do you find any difference with that?
There is a very, very different energies working with males and females, and mostly the energies, the difference is their beliefs. We as a man, we tend to consciously play the macho man thing. There's a reason why there's more women in this business, if you want to call it spiritual business. 80% of my clients are women because they're more open. Women are more open to believe, more open to receive. That's why I'm not like that, but that's why men are well known for not asking for directions to find a place. You heard that before? So women are more open to receive. Women are a little bit more open to embrace, to search, I always in my ceremonies, I always tell women that they have a lot of beautiful and strong attributes in themselves. The only problem with women is that they don't acknowledge them. And that's why the little bit that, or let's say, the things that men have, we are pretty good about acknowledging who we are and what we are, for the most part. When women don't. Woman has a very unique strength, a very unique way to deal with things. And they are very strong. That's one other reason why women get healed faster. because they're more open to receive. I just recently have this person that came to me about 2 months ago, actually about 3 months ago, and she told me straight up, I don't believe in these things, but I'm willing to give it a try. I have a brain tumor, and I have a breast cancer. So, and I asked her to come back the next day because I had a journey on her, actually a spirit about her. So when she came back the next day, I told her, give me 2 months. Give me 2 months, just 2 months. She said, okay, you got it. So she was coming to private healings, group healings to the center. 2 months later, that happens about 3 weeks ago, she went back to this big hospital in Los Angeles that they supposed to perform her brain tumor surgery. And they find out that there was nothing there. And breast cancer was gone as well.
Wow.
So that was a very beautiful thing for her. So ever since this person is comes to the classes and the weekly ceremonies and all the stuff to the center, because she was willing to receive that.
Right.
And there was, for me, that's the difference between male energy, female energy.
And what about the ability to let go? Because sometimes it seems to me women hang on to grudges more than men do. That wondering if that has an effect. That sometimes women have a harder time moving on, forgiving and forgetting.
This is a very different thing, because women tend to hold on to emotions a lot more than men. And these women are more emotional beings, because the motherhood allows, it had to be that way, allow them to be that way. Women receive more, and for the sake of safety, the woman promotes. For the sake of love, the woman promotes. For the sake of family, the woman has in them, they hold a lot of emotions. They repress a lot of feelings, and all these feelings, for the most part, women are either accumulated in the heart chakra or in the second chakra, and that's why we see a lot of women with stomach issues. That's why we see a lot of women with cancer, breast cancer issues, because they accumulate their emotions, their resentments, right there in those two parts, for the most part. When men, we accumulate it in the second chakra mainly, and that's when we get issues with the prostate.
Interesting. So
Totally different energies. Yeah.
What's that?
See, totally different energies.
Yeah. So if someone comes to you for a session, what could they expect? Like, what kind of things, what would it look like? It's probably different all the time, but say if someone was a little nervous and they wanted to know, generally speaking, what could they expect a shamanic session to look like? What would you tell them?
Well,
I'm
when it
sorry.
comes to
I'm
the
sorry to
center,
break in, guys, but can we
for
do
a
our
session,
commercial first? We've got to take a 1 minute commercial real quick before we get into that. Is that okay?
Yes.
It's okay.
yes.
Let's go ahead and take a 1 minute commercial. I want to remind everyone they can find Mr. Garay at theinnersanctuary.org, and we will be right back in 1 minute.
A new era in psychic services has begun. PsychicAccess.com. You can connect with our psychic advisors by telephone or chat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All of our psychic advisors are interviewed, fully verified, and accuracy tested, assuring you quality service. We're living in some very troubled times right now. More and more, the world's problems are affecting us on a personal level. You don't have to deal with this alone. Our highly accurate psychics, caring advisors, and talented mediums can help with situations you are currently experiencing and can let you know what the future may hold for you. All new customers get a free 6-minute reading. All you have to do is register. Why not visit us now and get a free reading at psychicaccess.com.
Okay, we're back, and I missed the commercial timing. I apologize. And we were talking about what could someone expect if they came to a shamanic healing session. Is there some kind of general description? There may not be, but if for someone who has never gone and they're a little nervous, what might we say to them about what they might go through, what it would look like?
First, I talk to the person, and the reason why I talk to the person is not so much to hear what they have to say, but to feel the energy. What is that energy? That's one of the main things that I do when I talk to someone, is to read the energy, to see what is the energy telling me. Because many times when we are in a difficult situation, the first thing we do is get into the denial. Oh, no, not me. No, this is not happening to me. This is not what is going on. So the energy tells me a lot about themselves. Many times they're bringing their spirits with them, their spirit guides, and the spirit guides are telling me, this is what's going on. This is the truth, And or many times the guardian angel comes in and this is what's going on with this person. And that's what the process starts, by this person expressing themselves. Because when I have this person to talk to me about what their issues are, if they creating a flow by them speaking those words and they're listening to those words, you're talking to your higher self. And then you create a flow of energy. You tell them the universe, this is what my problem is. I want a solution for this. And that's where the whole process starts. So after I talk to a person, then I see what is needs. Then I see if a person needs to come back later on, or if I need to do something right away. I need to put them on the healing table. I need to sit them down in a chair. And if I need some herbs for me to work on this person, I go get it. If this person needs to come back and bring flowers, I have a person to bring flowers. Different stuff. Depends if I need things that I don't have it right there at the center, like herbs, flowers, or candles, and stuff like that. I ask the person to go buy them, and I tell them straight up how long that process is going to take. It might take that day only. It might take 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. Depends on what the issue is. And the willingness for this person to receive the good energy.
Have you ever...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Have you ever worked on somebody that they're really shut down, their energy flow is kind of locked down? And if so, what do you do with that?
I ask him, what are you doing here first? Because if you're not gonna trust me and do what I need to do, there's no reason for the person to be there. If you're gonna come to the center and allow me, give me the permission to work on your energy, that means you're gonna open the door for me, wide open, no restrictions. Like somebody came to me, I got a fountain that it runs with holy water, and it runs all the time, because that's one of the tools that I use. And this person came to me and it says, "Oh, Javier, I don't like that noise of the water running. Can you turn it off?" And I go, "No, I can't. It's part of my tools." He said, "Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be willing to receive that healing with the water running." I said, "Well, in that case, it's your choice. It's always this person's choice.
Mm.
But if they're closed, they're not open to receive. They have no business on the sanctuary. There's not got no business getting that ritual or getting that healing, because it's a waste of time and energy. And I'm not here to waste my time or my energy on somebody who doesn't want to receive.
Mm.
I cannot force, and I would not force anyone, not even my own kids, to receive the healing. Only when you want, only who the person who wants it.
Mm.
I got family and friends that they don't believe in this stuff, and I bless them as well. I bless them, and I don't talk to them about it because they're not gonna listen.
Right. So you know a lot of other practices, Reiki and other things. How does shamanism differ from the other practices that you do?
It differs because the nature, the usage of nature, and many of these practices, many of these modalities, they have a lot of things in common too. Like there's a Reiki master that works in the center. Her name is Lorna. You met her too. That she's a Reiki master, but now that since we've been working together, she's learning about shamanism, and she's integrating shamanism with her Reiki. So now she's doing a combination of all that, which is benefits greatly to all the people that receive healing from her. But it is different when it comes to the beliefs, where the energies come from. It differs with the tools that you use. Like Reiki, they don't use sage that I use. They don't use the flowers that I use. They don't use the water that I use, or the coconut that I use. And the other prana healing, they don't touch the people. I do have to touch people. It is my vehicle. I have to touch you. So the person that comes to me, I told them straight up that I'm gonna be touching their different parts of their body where the spirit is telling. Of course, respectfully.
Got it.
That's why it's so different than other modalities.
Got it. Can you work with people who are not local? Can you work with people remotely? And how do you do that?
There's different ways to do this. I have a group of people that I work with them every week. They're like over 1,000 people, and they're all over. Mostly this group is a Spanish group, and I work with them, and they're from Venezuela, Mexico, they're from Puerto Rico, they're from Honduras, Brazil, Argentina. I have a lot of people from Argentina, and I can work indirectly with them, but I will need a picture, or I have to see them on Skype. I have to see them on Skype, and I have to have a picture when they connect the energies with the energies of the center through that picture. So I have a picture, and I just put that picture on the table, just as I do for a regular person, and I anchor the energy with them. I actually work around, everything between 800 to 1,200 people every week remotely. At the same time, in Skype, I have different clients that I work with in Canada, in Mexico, in Serbia. I had a few too. So it's different for every healing, like you mentioned before, is so different. So if there is something that is very strong, it works different for something that is just emotional. But I do have those experiences with a lot of people online, and I have very good feedback from that.
Fabulous. Well, this has been absolutely incredibly wonderful talking to you, and I want to thank you again for making the time to come on the air and share about this kind of work that you do, and also about the Center Inner Sanctuary in Riverside, California, where we can find Javier at all times and seek out his help if we need it. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we sign off?
I just thank you for the job that you're doing, the kind of work that you're doing, expanding the consciousness of people and allowing to find themselves and who they are. So I'm going to thank you for that.
Fellow light workers, we appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we will be in touch, Javier. And thanks again for coming on the show.
Night.
Hello, my name is Rez Miranda. If you're having relationship, career, or life issues, I'm inviting you to experience what it's like to have access to professional, highly accurate psychics and spiritual advisors you can trust to care and help you. Register now to get your free 6-minute reading by telephone or chat. Get answers, get access, psychic access, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. PsychicAccess.com.
It's so